Welcome to Bald Guy DIY. In this video, I'm going to show you how to test for the presence of electricity at different points in your home. One of the questions I've been asked a lot is how do you tell if a receptacle or a switch has power going to it? How do you tell if it's live or if there's usable energy there? In this video, I'm going to show you several different tools that you can use to test for voltage at any point, a receptacle or switch in your home, and help you identify if there's electricity present in order to get the work done. So if you've ever been interested or you're curious to know how you can check to see if something's working, stick around, I'm going to show you how. The voltage is the potential difference between 2 points. So if there's power available or electricity there, there's going to be a difference in potential that can be measured using a variety of tools. Also, when there's potential electric energy there, there's also a magnetic field that's given off. And so some of the tools that we use to detect voltage are basically just magnetic devices that respond to the magnetic field around those wires. While knowing if there's voltage present doesn't necessarily solve all your troubleshooting problems, it is a very helpful thing when you're not sure if a receptacle is working or not, or if it's the device that you have plugged into it that's not functioning properly. Also, it can help to identify which wire is coming to a switch box, which ones are the incoming power, and which ones go out to the device. There's many different uses. I don't recommend, if you don't understand electricity, to be poking around inside the electrical outlet boxes, but I'm going to show you a few methods that you can use to test a receptacle out and see if there's actually voltage present. The first device I'm going to show you is a plug tester or a receptacle tester. And really what this is a combination of lights that will turn on if you plug it into a receptacle that's live. Now, you might say, I don't need to know if the receptacle is wired correctly, which is the actual purpose of this. If you read the instructions or look at the legend on any voltage tester, you'll see that there are indicator lights that tell you if it's wired correctly. But the whole point is you want to know if voltage is present. And if you were to plug one of these into an outlet and the lights come on, then not only do you know if it's wired correctly or not, you know that there's power there in order to turn the lights on. It's the simplest method. These tend to run between $5 and $15 at a home improvement store or electrical supplier. The next device I want to show you is something called a voltage detector. Some electricians also call them ticks because they make a tick or beeping sound when they come in contact with voltage. Now, the way these work is they respond to the magnetic field that's created around a wire that's got power coming to it, that's got a voltage supplied. And so if you were to turn it on and plug it into a receptacle and it starts flashing away and beeping, then you know that there's voltage present there. Also, if you were to put it up to a live wire, you would see the same thing. And so the whole point of that is just to let you know that there's voltage there. That can be really helpful if all you want to know is there voltage supplied? Is that outlet live? But it's not as useful because it really only tells you that there's voltage there. It doesn't tell you how much voltage or exactly where the voltage is. Depending on the quality of the tester, it may beep anytime you bring it somewhere near power. It doesn't have to necessarily be precisely where the voltage is. You'll find that while this can be helpful, it can also be a little temperamental because if you drop it a couple times, it tends to stop working properly. And if it's not reliable, how do you know if you actually held it near a live outlet, if it's live or not, if it doesn't start beeping in the first place? I've gone through a lot of these over my career. I enjoy having them as a way to just make sure that something's not live before I start working on it, but I found them to be kind of temperamental, and I like to refer back to my meter in order to make sure everything's going to be nice and safe to work on. One other problem is that if the issue isn't is there power there, is there voltage there, but is there the right amount of voltage, such things as a pinched wire or a loose connection that's not allowing full voltage to flow to the outlet, then this isn't really going to help you because all it does is tell you that there's voltage present. Anywhere between, on this tester, 50 volts and 1,000 volts present. But what if that receptacle is only getting 50 volts instead of the 110 or 120 you'd normally expect? Now your device isn't going to be working properly, but your tester still tells you that it should be. that's confusing. Another device that I've run across at home improvement stores is only about $5, and it's kind of a combination of the plug tester and the voltage detector. It doesn't have a meter on it or a display to tell you what voltage is present, but it does have contact points, which are really good because they're precise. If you hold it near a receptacle, nothing's going to happen, but if you actually push it into a receptacle and you get contact with those internal contacts, you're going to have it light up and let you know that voltage is present. This can also be really useful if you want to determine on a switch which wire feeding the switch is live and which one is the load, which one's going out to your light or fan or whatever it is that's connected to the switch. So this type of tester for a cheap $5 fix can be just as useful and sometimes more useful than the non-contact voltage detector, and it gives you a little more clarity and precision than a plug tester. I'll have another video down the road which will show you how to use something cheap like this to install a smart switch, because it helps you to identify again which is the line and which is the load conductor inside a switch box. But if you really want to know precisely how much voltage is supplied and if there's power there, the answer is to use a proper voltage meter or a multimeter, which tells you if there's voltage there and what the magnitude of that voltage is. Whenever you contact those two probes to the different points where there would be voltage present, like sticking them into a receptacle or touching them to the points on a switch, it'll display the actual voltage that's present there. That's the most useful information you could have, because not only does it tell you that there is voltage present, but it tells you how much. In other words, is the circuit working correctly in order to supply the right amount of voltage. In a home that's 110 or 120 or 220 or 240 volts. And if you don't have that precise information, sometimes you can't troubleshoot accurately. Having a full multimeter that displays what the voltage is the right answer to solve all your problems detecting voltage in your home. Now you can find a digital voltmeter or multimeter at a home improvement store or at an electrical supplier, and they range anywhere from $50 for a cheap one to several $100s for a more professional quality one. I've had the same multimeter for over 15 years and it's still going strong, even on the original batteries. So that's really something to be said for the quality of spending the money if it's something that you're going to use regularly. I know that doesn't dig deeply into the idea of what voltage is and how to troubleshoot different things in your home, but I hope it simply answers the question of how you can test for the presence of voltage at an outlet, and also what types of tools are available and the different price points. If you find inspiration from these videos, or you find these Ask an Electrician videos to be useful, please let me know in the comments that it answered a question for you, or give me another question that you'd like answered in a future video. Please consider subscribing to let me know that you're interested in the content and you'd like to see more coming down the road. We post a new video every week, so keep checking back regularly. Until next time, be safe out there, respect electricity, and learn how to test it and use it properly. In all your DIY adventures, don't be afraid to be balder.